Right now at noon, the government shutdown is starting to take a toll on local programs, how state lawmakers are reacting. Plus, President Trump celebrates a peace deal in the Middle East, but questions remain about the next steps, what's happening on the ground in Gaza today, and the lingering concerns of hostage families. This is News 3 Now at noon. Hello, everybody. Good to have you with us on this Tuesday. Josh Spreiter is off this afternoon. A woman accused of killing her mother in Blue Mounds is pleading not guilty by reason of insanity. Sierra Schoonover is charged with first-degree intentional homicide by use of a dangerous weapon. In court today, the judge accepted her plea and considers her guilty. Back in April, Heather Schoonover was found dead at a home on Smoky Mountain Trail. A neighbor saw Sierra arguing with her mother prior to her death. Sierra was taken into custody after crashing her car nearby. Back in June, she was found competent to stand trial. A Richland County man faces murder charges following a death investigation. The investigation started on September 29th after deputies from the Lafayette County Sheriff's Office found a man dead in a rural area. Investigators say a physical fight happened 3 days earlier involving the victim. Judd Frazier is now facing criminal charges of felony murder and possessing a firearm as a felon. That investigation led to Frazier's arrest. He is being held in the Richland County Jail. We're learning more this noon about a multi-hour standoff in Lafayette County that happened on Sunday night. Deputies responded to reports of a disorderly, possibly armed man near Main Street and Temple Avenue in Benton. When deputies arrived, the man went back to his home on Galena Street and refused to cooperate. Multiple agencies, including Hazel Green and Galena Police, responded to help. The standoff ended about 7 hours later with no injuries. It's unclear what charges the man might face. One person is recovering after being injured in a fight at a bus stop near Breeze-Stevens Field. This happened at the stop on East Washington Avenue and Patterson Street early Saturday morning. Police were originally called to a report of a fight. When they got there, one person resisted and was taken to the hospital. Officers say the 35-year-old was medically cleared before being taken to the Dane County Jail, facing charges of resisting, disorderly conduct, and bail jumping. Now to the government shutdown in Washington. It is now threatening vital nutrition services for families across Wisconsin. The WIC program serves nearly 60,000 families statewide, providing grocery subsidies and health screenings for pregnant women, new mothers, and children. Federal funding is set to expire soon, but the White House is reallocating resources to keep benefits flowing through the end of the month. Wisconsin lawmakers are preparing for potential funding gaps starting in November.
That's a lot of households, a lot of families who wouldn't be able to eat, wouldn't be able to survive without the subsidy.
Representative Mayadev has introduced legislation to provide state funding to replace federal dollars if the shutdown continues. More than 40% of babies born in Wisconsin benefit from WIC services. The bill would allow the state to backfill funding shortfalls and seek federal reimbursement when the shutdown ends. Teachers in Janesville are now rallying against what they call an inadequate pay increase in their new contract. In September, the school board voted 7-0 to impose the contract on teachers and staff. The Janesville Education Association says the district's 2.95% base wage increase does not keep up with inflation or rising insurance costs.
It's clear that we're not really keeping up with inflation and we're not getting enough support.
District Superintendent Mark Holzman says the board offered the maximum amount allowable under current regulations. The union hopes speaking out will force the district to examine the salary formula for future contracts. The dispute stems partly from Wisconsin's Act 10 legislation in 2011, which limited collective bargaining for public employees. Well, the Brewers are back in action tonight after dropping Game 1 of the NLCS to the Dodgers last night. It was a scoreless game in the top of the 6th when Freddie Freeman hit a go-ahead solo home run to make it 1-0 Dodgers. Then in the bottom of the 9th, with Brewers down 2-1, bases loaded, Bryce Terang had a chance to be the hero, but he strikes out swinging. Fortunately, Game 2 is tonight at AmFam Field. First pitch is at 7:08. Better luck to the Brewers tonight. Now let's get a check of the forecast. Jacob Montesano is here. It's sunny and warm in Madison now, but there's some rain on the radar.
Yeah, the rainfall is going to be the story later today and tonight. Not really seeing much yet, but you can see off to the west that rain starting to move into the area. Some pockets of moderate to heavy rain as well, but I don't expect to see any thunderstorms with these showers tonight, mostly in the form of light to moderate showers. But those of you near the Mississippi River expect to see rain over the next 30 minutes to an hour. Now, Madison and surrounding areas not going to see rain until a bit later, but there is a very good chance of rain across our area. You can see just how much precipitation is impacting the Midwest, but again, not really seeing a lot of thunderstorm activity, mostly just some showers. Now looking at future track, again, Madison and surrounding areas not expected to see that rainfall until later in the evening, but during the overnight hours expect to see on and off showers. Could possibly rain all night, but the rain is not going to be particularly heavy. This is expected to continue into Wednesday morning, maybe some light rain continuing into Wednesday afternoon, but a lot of it does look to clear out by around noon. Still, that small chance of rain will be possible as the cloudy skies will continue for Wednesday. Now, again, this is not going to occur until later this evening and tonight. So for the rest of the afternoon, at least for Madison, expect cloudy but relatively dry conditions, rainfall further west and further north a bit earlier, though. But I'll talk more in detail about a few other rain chances that are expected this week. Of those details coming up a bit later.
All right, Jacob, we'll check back in just a bit. Thank you. Happening tonight, the Wisconsin Air National Guard's 115th Fighter Wing will be conducting training flights across the area. F-35 jets will be taking off and landing at the Dane County Regional Airport and Truax Field until 9:30 tonight through Thursday. The Guard requires nighttime training throughout the year to keep pilots and personnel prepared for operations. As the Gaza ceasefire continues to hold, President Trump is outlining his vision of the immediate next steps. Natalie Brand has more from the White House.
With the skies over Gaza City calm Tuesday, bulldozers began clearing mountains of rubble in the war-torn region. The destruction and magnitude of debris is also making it more difficult to recover the bodies of the 28 remaining hostages killed in captivity. So far, just 4 have been returned.
It's obviously even bigger challenge than having I would say the people alive being released. That's a massive challenge.
Families say the return of all of the remains is a key element of the ceasefire agreement. Even as all 20 living hostages freed Monday reunite with loved ones. One of them was Omri Moran, now home with his family. CBS Morning spoke to his brother-in-law.
It's definitely the most special moment we'll cherish for the rest of our lives. And now we're focusing on his healing, focusing on our family being complete again.
President Trump, who arrived back to the White House overnight, says he's committed to his 20-point peace plan. He says the next phase will focus on rebuilding Gaza.
Restoring the basics of a good life. We're going to have a lot of money coming into Gaza and a lot of rebuilding and building. It's not so much rebuilding, it's really building.
The World Bank and others estimate the price tag could exceed $50 billion.
What is needed in Gaza today is monumental, and every single country around the globe needs to chip in to make it a livable place for its people.
The plan calls for a demilitarized Gaza with regional and international partners helping develop a security force to protect civilians. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
The plan also calls for a temporary apolitical committee of Palestinians and international experts to govern Gaza. The timeline for creating that, though, remains unclear. Well, coming up next on News 3 Now at noon, we'll show you how the federal government shutdown isn't letting tax filers off the hook. Plus, how many seasonal workers Amazon says it plans to hire this year.
The National Association for Business Economics has revised its U.S. outlook for this year. The group now predicts the nation's gross domestic product, or GDP, to rise by 1.8%, up from their 1.3% projection last June. The Economist Group survey found a worsening job market outlook, revising its predicted average monthly payroll job gains down from 87,000 to 60,000 for the rest of the year. Amazon says it plans to hire 250,000 seasonal workers this year. According to the company, seasonal employees make an average of more than $19 an hour. The announcement comes as job placement firm Challenger Gray & Christmas predicts the number of overall seasonal retail jobs will hit a 16-year low in 2025. And the federal government shutdown is not letting tax filers off the hook. Tomorrow is still the last day to file 2024 federal income taxes with the Internal Revenue Service for most people who've requested an extension. Right now, most IRS locations are closed due to the shutdown, with tens of thousands of the agency's workers furloughed. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Carissa Lawson.
Thank you, Carissa. And let's see how stocks are faring up and down on Wall Street at the midday. The Dow is up 298 points. The NASDAQ is down almost 62, and the S&P 500 is up 19. Pam Yankee has today's farm numbers coming up next, and Jacob is tracking the forecast. And then a little later this afternoon on Live at 4, we'll talk to Dr. Jeff Potoff from UW Health about the latest CDC guidance on COVID vaccines, which is generating quite a bit of confusion. He'll sort it out for us later today on Live at 4. It's time for the Midwest Farm Report. Let's check in with Farm Director Pam Yankee. Happy Tuesday, Pam.
Hello, Susie Q. Happy Tuesday to you as well. It looks beautiful out there right now. We'll get a chance to rebound from some of the cloudiness over the weekend. Well, rebound is exactly what we're talking about today. The beef industry has rebounded from some low prices, and now they're enjoying some strength out there, but they need some guidance when it comes to where their checkoff dollars are being invested for the future. Got to say congratulations to Kurt Larson. He is the CEO of the Equity Cooperative Livestock Sales Association. Just took over as chair of the Wisconsin Beef Council Board of Directors. He's right there in the center, tall, red-shirted fella, I should say. The group is in charge of making sure that any checkoff dollars that are gathered from beef sales in Wisconsin, which of course includes our dairy animals, are dispersed in the proper channels for research, promotion, and education. Most recently, they've been inviting in an awful lot of groups from outside the United States to learn a little bit more about how Wisconsin beef production is different from what they may have experienced in other areas of the U.S., including places to the west or the southwest. Congratulations again to Kurt. You know, the other thing that I wanted to make sure we pointed out was tomorrow is the last day that you can submit comments to something that's impacting our livestock industry, and that is the potential for some huge increases in the fees being charged by the Wisconsin Department of Ag, Trade, and Consumer Protection. You've got to get your email or your mail postmarked to the Department of Agriculture no later than the end of business tomorrow if you want your voice to be heard when it comes to deciding ATCP 10 or 12 and these proposed fees that could impact all of Wisconsin livestock. Doesn't matter what you're raising. The trucking fees are going to go up. The livestock yard fees are going to go up. And that's all going to be passed back to the farm, I'm afraid. Today, barrel cheese was unchanged at $1.71. 40-pound block cheese up 3 3/4 cents at $1.70 3/4, while the AA butter gained 2 cents at $1.64 a pound. So there you go, Suze. The butter gaining 2 cents. That brightens up my day, just like the sunshine's going to do in about 10 minutes.
That's great. Let's end on a positive note. We always love it when butter is up. All right. Thanks, Pam. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.
You too.
And the sun is out now, but there's a pretty good line of showers to the west of Madison. When can we expect some rain tonight, Jacob?
Well, it's really going to happen at any point tonight, and it will start a little bit later in the day for areas to the west and to the north, and areas to the west may see that rain very shortly. Now, in general, we're going to continue to be seeing seasonable temperatures for this week. They'll fluctuate a little bit, and Friday looks to be warm, but beyond that, certainly staying fall-like, and we'll also have a few other rain chances throughout the week. So looking at the rain chances for tonight, again, we'll see those showers move into our area from the west, so places to the west and also to the north, likely to see rain at some point today, especially later in the day. Madison and surrounding areas still could see that rain today, but a better chance will be during the overnight hours. Now, just about everybody will mostly see this in the form of light to moderate showers, maybe some rumbles of thunder, but for the most part, we're not expecting any thunderstorm activity. And these showers are expected to continue into the morning tomorrow. But then once we get to the afternoon, they'll be very broken up. Still could see some light precipitation as cloudy skies are expected to continue. Maybe a little bit more sun, maybe a little bit of sunshine in general later in the day, but the better chance of rain Wednesday will certainly be in the morning. Now, Wednesday night, still going to see a chance of rain, especially later in the night, as we'll see more rain move into our area from the west. And Thursday, likely going to bring another chance of some scattered showers. Again, mostly in the form of light to moderate rainfall, not expecting anything heavy. And this rainfall looks to mostly clear out for Friday night and then, or Thursday night, and then as we get into Friday, still a small chance of rain, but not going to see much. So to kind of recap the rain chances, pretty good chance tonight into tomorrow morning, then another good chance during the day on Thursday. Thursday night and Friday, not going to see much. Still could see some sprinkles. Friday night into Saturday will bring another chance of rain. And then later in the weekend, it looks like we actually are going to see a pretty low chance of rainfall before we see more rainfall potentially next week. Now, despite the fact that we're going to see a lot of rainfall chances this week, we're not going to see a massive amount of precipitation, mostly because all the rainfall is going to be pretty light, maybe some moderate precipitation at times, but total precipitation this week only going to be about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. Could see some isolated locations, see a bit more, but again, this is not expected to be a big precipitation week. We just have several chances of it, but any rain we do see will definitely be a welcoming sight, considering we are seeing some drought conditions across Wisconsin, most of it in abnormally dry, which is technically not a drought yet, but far southern Wisconsin, you can see that moderate drought kind of creeping in. So we'll definitely take the rain. And although we're going to have several chances of it, I don't expect to see all that much. Now, temperatures during all this, they'll fluctuate a little bit. But outside of Friday, where we could see highs in the 70s, we're going to have highs in the 60s and upper 50s for the next 10 days. So remaining mostly fall-like, and especially during the overnight hours with lows dropping into the 40s and 50s, certainly going to be feel cool for a lot of the next 10 days. We also will see some breezy weather Friday out of the south, which will help warm those temperatures up. It is going to continue to be breezy to end the weekend, and throughout next week, we also could see some breezy weather, as temperatures in general looking pretty chilly next week. Highs only in the lower 60s, even on the warmer days. So certainly going to feel chilly next week, especially with that wind. So, you know, several on and off light rain chances this week, really starting tonight and then possibly continuing for Thursday. But, you know, we'll take the rain, and it's not going to be a massive amount of precipitation.
All right. Good to know, Jacob. Thank you. And winter is coming, whether we like it or not. Get ready for winter with the First Warn Weather Team. Tomorrow, they're airing a primetime special, 6:30 p.m. right here on WISC-TV. Jacob and the rest of the weather team will show you why bitter cold and heavy snow may be less common this year. We'll find out how winter alerts are issued and how recent winters are affecting our pets, plus what to expect in southern Wisconsin this season. When we come back, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Need a winning recipe for this weekend's football games? Or just because? If so, today's your lucky day. We're a nation that loves our football. And to kick the season into high gear, we thought we'd share a tasty dip that'll be welcome at your next football bash. Or really at any get-together. Here's how it goes. We start by browning some ground beef in a deep skillet or in a soup pot. Just make sure you use a pot that's big enough so it gives us plenty of room to add all the other stuff. After we drain off the pan drippings, we add a can of cream of mushroom soup, a bit of butter, some chunked up cheese spread, a cup of salsa, and a bit of chili powder. We cook this over low heat until the cheese is melted and it gets all creamy. The whole thing, start to finish, takes less than 15 minutes. When you serve this with crispy tortilla or corn chips, don't expect anyone to leave until it's all gone. It's that good. It's one of those dishes that has everyone asking, can I have the recipe? And your answer will be the same as ours. Just go online, because the recipe for this Texas TNT dip is waiting for you anytime you need a hearty dip that is super quick and ridiculously easy. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a winning way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Thank you, Howard, and thanks to all of you for watching today. The Bold and the Beautiful is coming up next. Hope to see you back here for Live at 4. Have a good day.